We saw, and as Chris mentioned, the update for Adobe Acrobat and Reader. Again, one that we particularly call out because of widespread use. We know that there are a lot of other Adobe applications as well, but in particular this month, they addressed 12 vulnerabilities, 8 of which were rated critical. So definitely want to make sure that you include this in your list of updates this month. Getting into the actual Windows updates we saw, Windows 11, quite a few vulnerabilities addressed this month, 55. Chris went in quite a bit of detail through the publicly disclosed as well as the known exploited vulnerabilities. I do call them out on these slides and highlight them in red so you have them, front and center. Make sure you have them patched this month as well. And you did see, as Chris mentioned, that 24H2 patches came out. One thing to one of the reasons that Microsoft is actually introducing these is because back on June, I think it's 17th, they actually did release 24H2 on top of their ARM-based Copilot Plus PCs and devices. So that's one of the reasons that they're calling out these 24H2 updates now. Prior to the regular GA release, we've heard September. We'll see if that actually happens for just general PCs. But they have released it officially on their ARM-based PCs. So that's one of the reasons that they have these 24H2 updates available now. There was also some question I answered in the chat about, do we need to worry about these now? The answer is no. If you're planning on installing, the GA version when it comes out in September or October this year, all of these updates will be included in that initial GA release. So they will provide a secure version to start with, and we'll be moving forward, with additional cumulative monthly updates from there on. Known issues this month in Windows 11. One that's been carried along for a while now, the profile picture issue. I mentioned that the last couple of months. There's an issue with saving your profile picture when you do the update. And on these ARM devices I just mentioned, there is an issue with the game Roblox. So be aware of that as well. You have to actually download it directly from the vendor if you do run into that particular issue. That's their workaround for right now. On the Windows 10 side, we did see a few additional vulnerabilities addressed. You saw 55 on Windows 11. There were 63 on the Windows 10 update this month. So again, the same publicly disclosed and known exploited CVEs that Chris talked about earlier there. There was a new issue introduced this month. Called it out here. I'm calling it remote desktop. There's quite a bit of information in the KB articles about this particular issue. You can go in and take a look at this, but basically after installing the update, you might run into remote desktop connectivity issues across your organization. The KB provides quite a bit of detail on multiple configuration options to work around the issue right now. So you might want to dig into each of these if you're running across this issue on any of these Windows 10 updates. And they are working on a resolution, so hopefully they get this one fixed pretty quickly because it sounds like it could be problematic for a lot of people. And the same issue occurs across each one of these releases that I've included here. I did list the KB articles specifically where it's called out, so you can go in and read about the update and the fix, or the workaround rather, for this particular issue. We did see the update for Microsoft Office, as Chris mentioned. 5 of the known exploited vulnerabilities were on the operating system side, but there was one in particular in Office, and it was particular to PowerPoint, or not PowerPoint, to Project 2016, sorry. And it's that 2024-38189. So again, a known exploited vulnerability in Office. We don't see that too often, but this month, if you are updating and making sure that you update your Office applications, Project is of particular interest. We also saw it as well as the standalone version, the online click-to-run versions. That same vulnerability is addressed on Microsoft Office 365 apps, Office 2019, and the long-term service channel 2021 release of the Office suite. We have a large chunk of releases between the Patch Tuesdays. I think we talk about this every month. We kind of break them down into the Windows and Apple side. I'll talk about Apple in just a second. In particular, we include these are the things that come out of our catalog, the things that we patch on a regular basis, so we want to call them out for those of you who are using our products. We do have security updates with the CVEs when the manufacturers release those. In particular, this month, you'll see that that Oracle released their CPU, their critical patch updates for Java. Obviously important to a lot of us that are running Java applications out there and want to update those either in its native form from Oracle or the third parties like Corretto and others who release the Java development kits. We also have security updates without CVEs. This is where the manufacturers in particular say this is a security update, but they don't actually call out any CVEs in particular in their lists. So we see the large listing there. And then, of course, we have the regular non-security updates where the manufacturers tell us, hey, these are performance or feature enhancements, but there aren't any security vulnerabilities addressed. Starting out with the AutoCAD updates that we saw this month, 3 major versions from 2022 through 2025. I did not go in and list all the individual vulnerabilities here. I just called out the number for you guys. You can see that there were 41 vulnerabilities addressed in 2025 and 29 addressed in the 2022 version. So again, if you're running AutoCAD, key this month to go through an update because they did address a lot of vulnerabilities. We are seeing weekly Chrome updates, these days. They've gone to our regular schedule. And as Chris was talking about in the article that I wrote, this is kind of that interim patch cycle. It's not your 0 day, but it's not your monthly cycle. You might want to go through on a weekly basis and update Chrome just because it is such a popular browser and it does have vulnerabilities. So that's kind of your medium cycle as far as updates. But I've called them out here. You can see each one of the weeks that there were releases. Some are smaller. For example, back here on the 7/30 release down here at the bottom, we fixed 3 vulnerabilities. But here on the previous week, they had done 16 vulnerabilities. So you definitely want to keep up with Chrome and make sure it's being updated on a regular basis. Citrix Workspace app was updated this month, had 1 vulnerability. VirtualBox, 3 vulnerabilities there. Here's where we get into the Java updates. Azu Zulu, obviously, is one of the big products that's used to update Java on your systems. And again, why we call out the versions that are here, these are the long-term service versions that Oracle is supporting in Java. There's version 21, version 17, version 11, and version 8 are the 3 long-term service versions of Java that are being supported right now. So we call out each one of these. In general, most of these manufacturers include address the same vulnerabilities. So you'll see 6s and 7s here. In the Java development kit for 21, there were 7 vulnerabilities addressed this month by Oracle. There were 7 also addressed in version 17. And you can see here that there were 6 addressed in 11. And also there is a JRE and a JDK version. That's Java Runtime Environment and Java Development Kit versions of Java 8 this month. There were 6 vulnerabilities addressed there. Amazon Corretto is another very popular third-party update for Java. Again, you'll see these same vulnerabilities listed here for each of the 4 major versions that are supported. Red Hat OpenJDK also releases similar updates. Those are included here. And then throughout the month also, we had a Firefox update, 129, that addressed 14 vulnerabilities this month. There were ESR versions of Firefox 115 and 128. Also, large groups of vulnerabilities addressed there.